Wonder Girl, issue number 6. Once again, we return to the world of Yara Flor, and I still very much enjoy this character. I say it every time, every appearance that this woman makes. I love it, I enjoy it. I kind of wish that CW show went through, but I get why it didn't. It's only 6 issues into a new character. That's a lot to, pitch a whole TV show on. So, we're gearing up for the trial of the Amazons. We're literally gearing up for a war in this issue. Things are literally headed straight for a collision. And once again, we take a step back from Joelle Jones pulling double duty. And this time we have an artist who is, I believe, Leila Del Doca. And she does a really good job of capturing Joelle's style. I really enjoyed it. It's almost a little more like vibrant, I think. It sounds like harsh line work. And I just really dig the way this is looking. So, in the last issue, we saw that Yara kind of like fell through a pit when she was like, just going ham on everyone in Olympus. And she emerges in this place called Tartarus. Now, I'm sure this is part of some pantheon and some history of maybe like an underworld or a place between spaces and all that. I'm not too familiar with Tartarus, so I don't know the significance of this place. And like these 3 witches with like long hair and just like weird looking air, just this weird smoke ladies emerging from this musky swamp. I don't know who these are supposed to be, but they're like, this one looks delicious, we should eat her. And she's like, no, don't eat me. And then before that these like, weird monsters could attack her, this weird foot stomps and squishes them. We see this giant comes in to capture Yara himself, and we cut to some time later. Yara is locked up in this weird cage somewhere. It looks like it's supposed to represent the underworld, but it's like this weird flowing lava thing. So I'm like, is it supposed to be like a volcano? Is that what we're saying here? Because it's still kind of connected to the Greek mythology. Like Eros does show up and it's all about Hera, but it's like, is this the underworld of like Hades and stuff? I don't know. Interesting. But yes, Eros does show up and he's like, why'd you do that? Why did you refuse Hera? And she's like, who cares? I didn't refuse you though, Eros. If that's what you want to hear. He's like, well, what's the difference? It doesn't matter. And Yara's like, you want to know why I refused you and why I refused Hera? It's because this is all creepy and weird. You don't have the right nor the rhyme or reason to play with my heart and manipulate me like that. And I'm not going to be groomed by some weird vengeful woman on a death path, okay? That's not my style. Why would you think I'd want that? He's like, well, I thought we saw the world the same way. I guess it's wrong. He's like, no, we don't. You're a weird old dude who doesn't really understand anything, and I'm a mortal woman who understands the way things go. And I know the man is supposed to love me, and the way you want to love me, Eros, is through manipulation and hardship, and I don't like that. And it's kind of interesting because, yes, Yara was kind of forced into liking Eros because of the arrow hitting her. It's interesting that they're keeping that up where she is kind of interested in him. And she's like, well, I was kind of forced to love him, but now I do kind of like him. Very interesting idea to explore and play with, honestly. It's kind of cool. So while Yara's just like trying to figure out a way out, the hand picks her up and sweeps her out. And then she just gets into the fight with the giant that put her there. And it looks really cool. The artwork is very dynamic here. I do like the way it works and flows. She stabs him in the leg with like some weird stick or something. She just rips off the side. Literally just beats him up. And she's like, I don't want to fight, so can we just talk? But nope, you can't just talk. They can't do a huge fight. And as she's kind of like just getting pounded in constantly by this giant, she's remembering visions of her parents and of the people that attacked her people. And like these 3 figures of like the Ares looking helmets just staring down at her. She goes completely God mode, says stop, and just shoots the bola around the giant's neck and strangles him. And then it becomes electrocuted and shocks him. Have we seen it get electric before? I can't remember if we did or not. But damn, Yara's got some skills, dude, and I really like it. So she's like, oh, okay. But then she sees something fall next to her. It's a feather. And it's Jerry. Of course, I honestly was worried they were going to kill Jerry so early, but Jerry's back. They're like, all right, let's get out of here and figure out the next step of our chapter. So they head to the gates of Olympus. Yara's like, okay, this is it. We're home free. We're back where we belong. We're going to go wreak some havoc on these terrible people. Back inside Hera's temple, She is getting very much stressed and angry. Arrow's person like, Yara escaped, we have to tell Zeus. And Hera's like, no, didn't you read my history of the Amazons book? Zeus is a dick. We're not talking about Zeus anymore. Get your shit together, grandson, okay? And solve this on your own. Get your people, do whatever you want. We're not getting Zeus. We'll solve this on our own. And do something useful for once in your life, you lame little boy. So Arrow storms off, maybe kind of now realizing Yara could be right about Hera, because this entire new, I think, era of Wonder Woman is really pushing that Hera's kind of insane. Well, maybe not insane, just like mad weary, where she's a little bit more angry than she's normally been, where now it's like, yes, man betrayed her, her husband was an asshole, now she's going to do the unthinkable and do something devastating. I love it. I think it's very cool. So just elsewhere in the world, they don't really specify. We see Cassie and Donna catching up, and it's like, yeah, I saw that Queen Hippolyta was worried about you, so I went to investigate, and then I stumbled upon these people. Sounds like, Cassie, you had your own adventure too. It's like, yeah, I was with Artemis, and it's nice. You know, I said it in the last issue too. You were doing a book called Wonder Girl, so get in all the Wonder Girls. We had Artemis in the first couple issues. Cassie and Donna are probably a lot of people's favorite interpretations of Wonder Woman characters. I know I've always been a fan of Donna Troy. I still stand by that she has some of the best costumes in any character in DC Comics. I adore her. And it looks like they're just like marching with this new tribe of Wonder Women, or Amazons, I should say, not Wonder Woman, and they're actually just at the gates of Olympus too, but in a different location from where Yara is. So it almost feels like we're setting up all these interconnecting things happening, but Diana herself isn't part of the big story yet. So Peruta, is that her name? I can't remember. I think it's Peruta. That's the woman from the last issue. She's like, my fellow Amazons, no longer will we remain in the shadows. We are going to strike against the people that put us here. We are going to fight against them. This is going to be our land again. We are going to take names, kick ass, and literally be the coolest group of Amazons out there. Because they are the coolest. We will remain hidden no longer. And as they're screaming, you see elsewhere at the gates of Olympus, Yara hears something. She's like, what was that? She's like, well, I got to figure out a way to get this door open. She's got like a big key she's trying to open. Not really doing a good job of figuring that out. Suddenly, the whole area turns to this weird smoky color. Jerry's the first to notice. But Yara's just like, I'm distracted here, dude. What do you want? She's like, what is it? And when she turns around, in the smoke emerges like the three figures that we saw from her flashback that killed her mother. Very cool. Again, my first reaction when we saw these earlier was this was an interpretation of Ares and maybe some of his followers. I don't think so now. I think this is literally Eros. I think Eros is going to be the one that we are revealed to have been under the helmet, and that's going to kind of be like their connection this whole time. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but that's just kind of like where I'm at. It's interesting. So Yara's like, okay, this is a fight for me now. And that's where the book ends. And I'm like, yep, this is good stuff, man. I really enjoy it. I don't know how they've managed to find a couple different artists to really capture Joelle Jones' style, but they've done it, and it looks great. Yara Flor continues to be an incredibly fun character with a cool history being built for her. I love the use of the other Wonder Womans. I love the use of the other Amazon tribes. Everything about this is turning into must-read Wonder Woman stuff. And I know this isn't a Wonder Woman book, but Yara Flor is going to eventually take the title of Wonder Woman at some point. I don't know when that will be, but it's going to happen. You just wait and see. Everything about this is really cool, and I think a lot of people should check it out. It's a fun read with great characters and just exploring all the mythologies that people like from these type of books in new and interesting ways. And it's, yeah, the Greeks are the Greek pantheon of gods and shit. They're bad people, so make them the bad guys. That makes sense to me. So Wonder Girl issue number 6, I am going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.